Hey, everybody. It's great to be with you today. This is your host, Charles Cook, here at Cook Baxter. It's a good day. It's a real good day. We're going to do English today. Hoy día está en inglés. Today is in English, so everybody knows. Obviously, I always answer Spanish questions in case you have them, but today is absolutely English because we've got a lot of things to talk about. First thing right off, we're going to jump right into the thing that's been consuming my time for the last 3 weeks, and that is the SEVIS termination litigation. We are waiting now for the preliminary injunction from the judge. To give you a background of this, starting around April 1st, maybe March 25th or so, ICE began to terminate SEVIS. SEVIS is the Student Exchange Visitor Information System. SEVIS is the basis on which a student visa is issued and is the program that maintains a student in status in the United States. They have to put their address changes, their work, their grades, their enrollment, everything's in SEVIS. This was created after 9/11 because students flew planes into towers. So to make sure that never happens again, they track all the students. So what ICE did, and it turns out we found this out yesterday, ICE we thought it was a computer program, but no, they did it the old-fashioned way. They had, quote, 10 or 20, close quote, people take 1.2 million names, with birthdays as well, of foreign students, and these are F, J's, and M's, and put them through the NCIC. The NCIC is the National Crime Information Computer. Basically, it's the fingerprint database of the federal government. And if you're ever fingerprinted for any reason related to law enforcement, which includes immigration, you're in this database. All right? You're in this database. So, for example, if you were arrested for public drunkenness, or you were arrested for a speeding ticket, or you were arrested for failure to pay a fine, all those things. Or if you had a problem at a port of entry and they fingerprinted you and they sent you back home. Right? All of those things are in this database. And the instructions apparently were, if you get a hit, revoke SEVIS, terminate SEVIS, without anybody really realizing that was quite illegal, quite outside the authority of ICE to do, and certainly contrary to all their prior regulations. It turns out of the 1.2 million people, 6,700 people were caught up in this. Now, is that how many got revoked? We don't know. They've never released it. But again, I've been saying for a month, it's somewhere between 4,000 to 8,000. So right about that number, right? That's 0.49%. That's half. And I said, if more than maybe between a half, maybe up to 1% of students, it was 0.5%. So what? I'm like a prophet. How did I know these things? Because that's how statistics work. One of my favorite topics. So I started revoking it. It was just revoked. But here's the thing: they didn't tell anybody. They didn't say, "Hey, student," which their own regulations say they will go to DSO, the designated school officer, and say, "Hey, school, what do you know about this? Should we revoke these?" No, they just did it. And one day, some school officer is looking at the system. Why is Jose revoked? Why is Dipshit revoked? I don't know. So call the student. Why are you revoked? I'm not revoked. Yes, you are. Well, now you can't go to school. Now you have to stop work. Now you're out of status. Now you have to leave. Schools are telling people to leave, which was wrong advice. So we ultimately were hired by 133 students from around the United States, 26 here in Georgia, and the rest, 107 more from around the United States. And we sued in the federal district court here in Georgia 2 weeks ago. Maybe 2 weeks ago, probably at this point, 16 days ago. And 2 weeks ago, 13 days ago, the judge granted a temporary restraining order saying, "Oh my God, what did people do? What did you do?" And she gave 2 weeks for us to come back and seek a preliminary injunction, which we did last Thursday. Last Thursday, we had a preliminary injunction hearing, and it went extremely well. Government basically said no defense. 2 weeks later, no defense. No, we just did it. Why'd you do it? I don't know. What happened? I don't know. My client hadn't told me. I don't know. So we had another meeting this morning with the judge. And she asked the governor, "I see all this changes going on. Does it change anything? No, Judge, it doesn't change anything because all the government's doing is rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. All they're doing, they're not fixing anything. So after losing 50 times, ICE last Friday just told everybody, we'll reinstate you now. But here's the big problem. One, they didn't reinstate everybody. Anybody who had the visa revoked, they didn't reinstate. Well, most of them didn't reinstate. And there was a lot of clients that reinstatement, visa revocation occurred, which we found out later, just recently, because ICE told Department of State, and State said, you revoked the SEVIS, and then we'll revoke the visa. The thing is, State, up until today, had no authority to do that either. They had no authority to do it either. This is insane. This is just, it's like watching the keys. And what they're doing now is they're covering their tracks. This is Watergate writ large, but just right in front of you. So last night, the state government changes their own rules, which previously did not allow them to revoke a visa for somebody in the United States, to now let them revoke a visa for somebody in the United States. What? And CBP, or ICE, under the SEVP program, they issued their own internal memo that says, now we can do this. And we still might go back and revoke everybody and reinstate it. You understand the problem. So our plaintiffs are fine. Right now, they didn't get their visas restored because we didn't sue on that initially. But our plaintiffs were restored as of the beginning. Now, here's the best part. I checked with the school officer, and it turns out it said my clients weren't restored at the beginning. They were restored as of the date the judge ordered it, when in fact she ordered them to restore at the beginning. So here's the story. There's more story about it. We are told by the government that, they technically can't restore it to the beginning because its software doesn't let them. So they put a note in the system saying, hey, I know it says this date, but it's really this other date. And the DS and the school can see that. School can't see that. It's really, who is running this? This is like a clown show. I'd be embarrassed. I'd quit. If I worked for ICE and this and I did this, I would quit. I would say, this is crazy. I'm not going to work in this nightmarish stuff. I'll work in the private sector and make 5 times more money. This is nuts. So all that's going on. And we knew this was coming down. We knew the big problem was happening here. Big drink here. So after our TRO, we got the band back together. Our friends at Impact Immigration Litigation. It's immigration. It's impactlitigation.com. 2 M's, by the way. And we will be filing an amended complaint on top of the complaint we've already filed and won on, and we'll win on again, to add another 350, 400 plaintiffs. And we are going to file a class action. We want everybody's got to get covered. Now, there's 2 or 3 other class actions pending out there. It's unclear what they cover. I don't know. But we're going after ICE, first of all, on getting rid of this gap. This gap is a major problem for students, a big gap problem. Because they can't change status. They can't, from the time of revoke till the time it's reinstated, there's a gap. Can't change status. Can't extend status. You can't adjust status. You can't change schools. Big problem. It's a big problem. They might even deny OPT over it. I mean, it's a big problem. So we're gonna fix that. I'm confident we'll fix that. We're also going after them on these new rules because the State Department may or may not have to follow the Administrative Procedures Act, but 100% ICE has to follow the Administrative Procedures Act here. And so we're going to go after them on not only on arbitrary capricious, but for failure to follow the law, and make them go through formal rulemaking on this. Then the other next thing we're going to do is we're also adding Marco Rubio as a defendant. We're going to go after visas. Now, I'm fully aware of what Supreme Court decision in Munoz says. That there's no jurisdiction from a court to overturn a denial of a visa by a consular officer. Here's the deal, though. These visas weren't revoked by the consular officer. It was revoked by the visa office inside the United States, who then told the consulates to do this. So this is a very different situation. Revocation is a very different thing than a denial, because this is everything that happened has occurred in the United States. So we're going to go after them on this. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's worth trying to get people's visas restored. But we've got an incredible team: Greg Siskin and Adam Cohen, great team at and my friends Siskin and Suster in Memphis, incredible lawyers, great deep bench on student visas. Aaron Hall, Zach New, and Kirby Joseph at Joseph and Hall in Denver. Again, incredible lawyers. We've all worked together before. And Jesse Bless, in my opinion, one of the top 3 litigators in America on immigration issues. Jesse Bless at Bless Litigation in Boston, fantastic lawyer, and good friends. These are people we work well with, and we're super excited to do this. Now, this is the same group that we won the lottery cases 5 years ago on. We won the student, we won the fiancé visa cases. We won the immigrant visa cases. We also sued on the 601s and forced them to make them go faster. I mean, not a lot faster, but we forced them to go at least a little bit faster. So this is a good group, and we feel very confident in this case. Where the class action ends up, I don't know. Because there's multiple class actions on the same topic, they might be combined in a multi-district litigation. It might end up in Georgia, might end up somewhere else. It doesn't really matter to us where it ends up. We just want to get this filed and cover as many students as possible, because students are the future. You know, this idea that we can get rid of foreign students, well, that's a good idea. This is generationally a horrible idea. Can you imagine, basically, we're educating some of the bright people in the world, and we're saying we don't want you here anymore. That's what Trump's saying. Don't come. And don't you think our competitors like Germany and France and England and Australia and even China itself are going to say, stay here. Come here. We'll educate you and stay here. We want you part of our system because we want to compete. I mean, this is retrenchment to 1924 that Trump is pursuing. Is truly one of the stupidest policy positions and ideas that they've ever had. But I told you all it was coming. Go back and look at my video before the election. I told you Project 2025, all this student visa stuff, all this immigration stuff. You know what they're doing here? They're turning legal immigrants into undocumented immigrants. That's what they're doing. Think about this. Do you really support this? Well, if you voted for Trump, you did, because he said they were going to do this. Oh, we're not going to do it. This is all out of Project 2025, all of this. The nativists, the white nationalists, the know-nothings, it's all right there. They want to make you dumb. Next topic, so we're talking about student visas a little bit. Look, you know, student visas, if I'm a foreign student and I have a chance to go to the Sorbonne or a premier university in Germany or Harvard, where would I go? I wouldn't go to Harvard. I wouldn't. I'd go somewhere else. You can't trust America when Donald Trump is president. You just can't do it. You can't do it. All right. Let's talk about H-1Bs. Now, this is for all my students that have got picked in the lottery and they're, quote, back in status. You need to be filing your H-1B now, because we don't know what ICE is going to do 2 weeks from now. File it now, premium processing, get that approved. They may or may not. We've seen 2 notices of intents to deny last week from colleagues where they filed an H and said, hey, your student status was revoked. We're going to deny your change of status. You have to go to the consulate. Will consulates reissue visas after they've been revoked? You know, I'm not so sure. I honestly wouldn't count on that. I 100% wouldn't count on that because these guys, they don't want you here. They don't want you here. But if you got picked in the lottery, you need to file now. Don't be waiting till the end of June. It's a month has passed. Get these in, premium process them, get the status before the Trump administration does more stupid things. The last thing I wanted to talk about today was DACA. DACA, I know there's a lot of folks here that have DACA, that come to our calls every week. So if you have an advance parole and you've traveled and you're entered, you're great, right? So hopefully you're married to a U.S. citizen or you have children. That will one day be 21. We've probably done 100 green cards for DACA recipients whose children are 21. And many more are on their way. We had a great call last week with a young man, and he was like 30 years old, no girlfriend, no wife, no kids, and he's got DACA. And how do you fix that? Well, again, if you got DACA before you were 18 and a half, your employer can sponsor you for a green card through consular processing. But if you get advanced parole and you're married to a citizen or have a 21-year-old child, you can get an adjustment of status. Now, I still get calls from people. My lawyer told me not to travel on advanced parole. Why? There's zero risk. Yeah, there's one case that everybody knows about a couple months ago The guy got turned around because CDP screwed up. Then his lawyer sued them, and he was back a week later, right? So get your advance parole, go. Now, are they recognizing emergency? No, they're very rarely granting emergencies unless somebody's dying. With a client denied today, they're trying to get an emergency advance parole. He has a really unique opportunity to do a cultural visit for his work through church in Europe, and they just said no. These people are just terrible people. And his parole's been pending for like 7 months. Paroles can take up to 11 months. Now, most of those DACA advance paroles are taking 4 months. That's about it. But just understand, sometimes they take longer. And then finally, of course, if you have DACA, you got to renew a year in advance. If it's a year or less, get the DACA renewal in. Again, apparently the administration is not touching DACA. They did make clear they're not taking new DACA. They're not adjudicating those cases that were filed under Biden. Don't send that to them. If a lawyer is telling you to do that, they're wrong, trying to take your money. Don't do it. And this will eventually get to the Supreme Court. Maybe next year sometime they'll have argument on it. So you've got another year or two. So take advantage of it. Use the opportunities given to you in DACA. All right, we got some questions here today. Got a lot of people online today. Hello, everybody. If you've been here before, we do this every week. Every week it's in either English or Spanish. This week is English. Next week will be Spanish, and this is a great way to practice your Spanish. Manuel González, how are you? ¿Puede hablar sobre el proyecto de ley de reconciliación? Oh, Manuel just asked a great question. He wanted me to talk about the reconciliation bill that will be going through the House. There is going to be some awful, terrible, punitive, bad pieces of law and funding coming out of Congress on immigration. They're going to give ICE $45 billion to detain people. This is going to get ugly very fast. They're going to give ICE money to hire thousands of more agents. They're going to give the courts money to hire more judges, although I don't know what kind of terrible person wants to be a judge under Trump and be ordered to deport people. You got to have a black stain in your heart to do that. I'm really sorry. Hire more lawyers to do it too. I mean, really? Are you that desperate that you'd work for the government to deport people that are just living their life? I mean, I couldn't do it. I mean, can't kill my soul. Couldn't do that. But this bill's got really, really terrible things in it. I'm not going to go into detail this week. I'll talk more next week about it because it's not out of the house yet. But there's really, 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 really bad things in it. Okay, Luis, good morning. Charles, can you take my case? I don't know. If you got DACA before you were 18 and a half, we've done many of these cases for a green card. It takes about 4 to 5 years, but absolutely we can do it. Just give it a call. You have to have DACA before 18. Now, of course, the way to give us a call, if you want to make an appointment, everybody knows, you just call this number right here. There it is. Right 404-816-8611, 404-816-8611. You can also email me. Everybody knows I always answer my emails. I respond to every email. And that's my email, secure@immigration.net. You can also follow me on the Twitter machine, and I do respond on the Twitter machine. So let's take a look at some more questions here. We got also the coolest backgrounds. Thank you. This is actually my home office. I'm home today, working from home to get stuff done. Stephen Brown. Good to see you, Stephen. Stephen is a great lawyer, doing some great litigation work, by the way. Fantastic in D.C. I judged this morning in a conference with her, mentioned the judge that Stephen was in front of. And I know Stephen demurs that it was all the judge, but the reality, it's only the judge because you made it possible. So great work to you and to Brad Banias. I work for my employer for 12 years. I'm a fashion designer. Totally awesome. If you got DACA before you were 18 and a half. Best option for a green card. Well, generally it's an EB3. But Advance Parole doesn't help you for the employment-based green card. It only helps you for marriage and children. New Jersey is calling. My home state, my birthplace is calling. Is it possible it's going to be brought after submitting this whatever and schedule if I get a date for interviews? Yeah, so if they schedule you accidentally while your 601 waiver is pending, you just email them and say, hey, my 601A waiver is pending. They'll email back and change it. You just do that, right? Jesus, Mr. Cook, Malaga petition to extend 98 field window and was granted by SCOTUS. Can you read what it means for DACA? Yeah, so basically, they're just buying time is really all it is. It doesn't mean anything for DACA. If SCOTUS wanted to get rid of DACA, they would have not granted the extension. So this is good news. It takes, it's a lot of effort to appeal. I've done this twice, appealed to the Supreme Court. They didn't take either case, but it's an enormous amount of effort. So yeah, they needed the extra time to do that, and it doesn't mean anything. So it just means DACA will be existing for 90 more days. I'm not the goat. I'm not the goat, but I have people that work with me, that support me, that make me look better than I actually am, starting with my wife. Now, misdemeanor in the past, if a green card applicant gets approved, should it be concerned? No. So if you got your green card and you disclose all prior issues, you are fine traveling. You will not have a problem. You will not be denied entry. You will be A-OK. Really, you'll be A-OK. Hola, buenas tardes. Si aplicaste para la visa U como hace 5 años, tienes que registrar otra vez. No. So if you've applied for a U visa and you've been fingerprinted, you do not have to register. You do not have to register. By the way, Trump announced that the first month of registration, 47,000 people registered. Out of, I don't know, 5 million? 10 million? I don't know. It wasn't very many. What a surprise. Can you travel in advance for expedited removal? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I have DACA and applied for a PK travel. Yes, you can. Berta Rivera, hola, hello. Voy a salir del país, tengo residencia, yo puedo tener problema. No tendrás ningún problema. You have no problem, Berta. You'll be great. And that is my grandmother's name. Great name, Berta. What if I don't have a legal reason for advance parole? Look, everybody's got a legal reason for advance parole. What do you do for a living? Find a conference in Mexico that features what you do for a living. Do humanitarian work. You're going on a go build houses in Mexico. There's always reasons. You just got to you have to think it through. Samantha Shrivastava. People enrolled in class action will be having benefits who are not enrolled. The people that are enrolled in the class action there's no guarantee the judge grants a class action, by the way. No guarantee he grants a class action. So that means you're enrolled in case they don't, and then you're the only people who benefit. Uriel Resendez, New Jersey here. Woo, we are everywhere. Jersey guys, we're everywhere. I have documented employed by a shop that's big on EV build. I'm rolling a lot of newer vehicles. Can they sponsor me? Again, if you got your DACA before you were 18 and a half, yes. If not, then you have to have a mom or dad who's a resident, and then you can still do it, or a citizen. None of your business. Should a person can litigate when they're denied OAS because of the permanent bar? Look, so was your permanent bar created because you traveled when you were a child? That's the key. And if so, and then you're denied adjustment because of that, call me. We're litigating this issue. So we've got a great team on board, and we're going to go for it. Hola, doctor. Mi hijo tiene DACA y aplicó para Advance Parole, pero las 2 veces que la negaron, esta segunda vez la razón fue por la nación de su hijo que se encuentra en otro país. Carmen, tu hija debe llamarme. So her daughter was denied an advance parole twice. She was going to visit her child who was born in another country. If the child's in good health, they're probably going to deny that. You have to put together a really good application, Carmen. Llámame. Okay, just give us a call. Okay, we got Gerson. Algunos consejos sobre los que van a proceder consular, o sea, que se puede esperar y cuánto tiempo puede. So Gerson's going to El Salvador to process. El Salvador is completely 100% safe. The consulate's terrific, but El Salvador is very expensive. That's what happens when you make a country safe, right? So it's very expensive to go there. You'll be fine, Gerson. I don't have time to talk about it today, but make an appointment. We'll plan. We'll prepare you for your interview. Margot Miranda. Hola, DACA. Yes, Margot. There are no new DACAs. Do not waste your time. USCIS has said they are not accepting new DACAs. Period. End of story. Hello, Kijan. Good to see you. Is it okay to travel on Vegas? Yes. Yes, you're fine. Although, Kijan, my position is why? Because you just want to go to a trip? Go to Hawaii. Is it safe? I believe it's safe. But if you're looking for a guaranteed safety, don't travel. Okay, there you go. Claudia, hello, lawyer. I están recibiendo aplicaciones, but no, they are not. Do not send initial. No lo están haciendo. Luis, I got my DACA 26. My employer wants it. Yeah, but you can't. The advance parole doesn't help you. Okay, Now, are you, and the sponsorship doesn't help you unless you have a mom or a dad who's a resident or citizen, or a spouse, and then Advance Parole would help you get a green card. So, again, very specific questions. Dulapaya, Andesh, how are you? Good to see you. Samar, emails me to enroll in your class action. Since saw that post ICE will terminate now based on revoked visa. Yeah. Yes, I talked about this at the beginning, right? So, ICE runs the program, says 6700 people. They go to the Department of State. What do you want to do? Department of State says, you revoke, you terminate SEVIS, we'll revoke the visas. Yeah, crazy. Liz Wolf, I'm going to be able to apply for citizenship in February. What should I do to prepare and be ready by then? Study the test. You'll be fine. Study the test. You'll be fine. Trust me, it's easy. Andrea Pollock, my sister entered illegally 21 years ago. She was 16, but got to order and had to say, they opened a case and got responsible for giving her. Well, yes, I mean, it's reopened. Obviously, we can reopen it, but for what purpose? Is she married to a citizen? Does she have DACA? Has she traveled on advance parole? You don't just reopen cases. You reopen it, and she's got nothing. She gets another deportation order. What's the purpose? We got Shravani, Boltapalli. Currently in India, on OPT, got visa already 17. So you left. So, yeah, if your visa is revoked, you're going to have to go to the consulate and get a new visa. That works. You shouldn't have left. Pavel Lilith, if I apply for injury treatment, can I have change of status? Well, if you're one of my plaintiffs, you can, because your SEVIS was never interrupted. If you were under the general restoration, then it depends. That's why we're litigating the case. Hori, good to see you. Shanta Islam, I'm an F1 OPT. Can I travel on? Yes, you can travel on domestic flights without a problem. Ernesto Novello, la persona que tiene un proceso de no ya tomado las huellas tiene que registrarse. No, you do not have to register if you have a 601 pending. You're fine. My SEVIS is reinstated and I'm on STEM OPT. I don't have H1. I might risk the rest of the day. Might risk for the rest of the days. I don't think so. I guess we'll see. But these are answers we don't have. They're going to turn it again. They might. This is why we tell people to join the lawsuit. Would you say myself, yeah, she's getting married to us. Yeah, that we can help with. Have her give me a call. Swedaka, you quise, I want to do advance parole after adjustment status, pero con mejores rápido maneras de tener mi green card por mi hija adulta. Oh, los dos son igual. They're just, whether her adult child or her husband can sponsor her, it's the same. Es lo mismo. Carlos, I am waiting for permanent resident under 245I, sponsored by my daughter, requested funds because my charges is approved for 601, difficult to get approved. Well, 601 is not that difficult to get approved. Again, it's all about hardship. Who's the qualifying relative? Your daughter can't be the qualifying relative. It has to be a parent or spouse. So what's the hardship? This ICE termination will affect my current pending. No, it should not. Because you're an adjustment applicant, so you're fine. Gerson, disculpe, no tiene nada de ver con proceder proceso, pero como le gusta. El Salvador was great. I'd go back to El Salvador. But I was reading a story yesterday. If you're El Salvadoran, it sucks. I mean, there's no crime anymore, right? But nobody gets paid anything. They get paid like $400 a month, and rent's $500 a month. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing right now. Liz Wolf, what military do you recommend to join to be able to sponsor a parent? Personally, I'm a big fan of the Air Force, otherwise known as the Chair Force. Nobody shoots at the Air Force. My brother, mi hermano, le va a arreglar a los padres, aseguro que ellos se registran antes. Yes, if they entered legally, which is the only way your brother can fix them, they should register. Is it possible for this litigation to result in the complete removal of records from the government data? No, that's not possible. Your records will be there forever. I want to recount an administrative closed case. My lawyer's contacted from LA. Can I recount the case? If your case is in LA, your case will be recounted wherever it was put off the calendar, and then you can move it to LA. This ICE termination will affect. No, you only ask a question once. Is a TPS valid status to AS2G card? I mean, legal entry received TPS 1 and J1 status. Yeah, you have to travel on advance parole, but then you can adjust status. Yes, through a green card holder, but you have to travel on advance parole. Luis, I don't have mom or dad with legal status. I partner U.S. citizen. I'm married in India. Could I do my employer sponsorship? Yes, because then your spouse can sponsor you the waiver. But why would you spend 5 years going through your employer when your spouse can do it in a year and do it for a third the price? Get married. Fly to Vegas. Get married in the chapel of love by Elvis. You'll be in good shape. I do want to recalendar, close. Already answered that. My wife came over with a visa. She overstayed her and has DACA. Her dad is a citizen. He can sponsor her, but it's like it's like a 20-year wait. Sorry. Ruben, can you join the lawsuit? Well, you can try. Go to impactlitigation.com. It might be closed. I know we're filing today, so it might be closed. My SEVIS, can I say, yes, you have to continue with the lawsuit. Well, you're not paying attention. Yes. If you have to register yourself if you were not adjudicated your DACA. Can I apply for OPT as my SEVIS got affected but got back? I'm also in your lawsuit. Yeah, apply for your OPT. Royal. My sister is a citizen, less than 16 years, 16 years old. She was working, después de escuela, fue asaltado con pistola. Mira, Royo, esa es una pregunta que no puedo contestar en vivo. Es demasiado complicado. Liz, my wife thinks so. Thank you very much. Moni Lee, is there a way to adjust that to just? No. ¿Hay algo positivo que vea en inmigración futuro? No. For DACA, I think DACA will continue. That's the most positive thing that's going to happen. Can I apply for OP and get reinstated? Yes. You're welcome, Luis. Do someone that applied for Biden getting registered? Yes, you do. I have an interview coming up. Do you recommend keeping my answer short? Look, if you're getting interviewed, you answer the question, and that's it. You don't volunteer information. The officer says, what color is the sky? You say, blue. You don't say, got up this morning. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining, and I looked outside, and the sky was blue. Blue. You answer the question. All you're required to do. Is it possible to close you down in Trump administration? In absence of trying to reopen? Well, Anita, is it possible? Yeah. Is it likely? I don't know. That's very case specific. No, President Bolivia out of Puerto Rico. Look, if you got DACA, you can go to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is the United States. Keep your DACA stuff with you. I'm not a big fan of it, but you can go. My in-laws said they applied for residency. They're now U.S. citizens. They have no legal entry. Yeah, it's not possible. They can't get a green card if they came illegally, unless they themselves have parents that have green cards or citizens. Thank you. You advised me to travel after a little issue with CBP at the port of entry. Use my multiple entry plate. I didn't have any problems coming back this time. See, I told you, Ariana. Told you, you'd be fine. Thank you, Rahul. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're part of the lawsuit. We're going to keep fighting. You know, if you don't push back against fascism, fascism wins. So you just got to keep pushing back, and that's what we're going to do for the next 1,389 days. Last question from Luis. Last question I have here. Sure, thank you for reading me. I'm going to use AP through employer business trip. I would get back stuck. Yeah, just call me. You're not going to get stuck. You're fine. You're fine. On Russia, I have pending 539 OPT. I wish we do my 539. I'm sure that will take. No, it will not affect your OPT. In fact, hopefully it will help your OPT. That's the key. Is it true that people who don't register won't be able to fix their? That's not something that exists that I'm aware of. It's certainly not in the law. If I change status from OPT to TN, got approved April 1st, for a change to Juma, yeah, you're fine. Your TN's good to go. Anil, I'm Manuel Kamal. My CV is not active. Yeah, well, then I'm glad you're participating. You're welcome, Luis. Can you explain why I would travel advance parole to overstay visa? I don't know. I tell people to travel all the time. Why would somebody who doesn't know the law tell you not to travel? I don't know. You should travel. Have a great time. Thank you. Adjustment assessment united with mystery translation? No, it cannot, Kijan. All right, everybody, it has been fantastic to be with you today. Again, I'm Chuck Cook here at Cook Back Show. 1,500 people. It's a new record. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. It'll be in Spanish, but if you want to make an appointment, this is the number to call. If they don't answer, I'm sorry. There's only 2 of them. Leave a message, call back. They'll get to it. Or you can email me at ccook@immigration.net. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.